I can't wait for this residual capability. Basically, we're going to do is we're going to fly BFR like an aircraft and do point-to-point travel on Earth.
SpaceX has a new motto. In order to get to Mars, first we must destroy Earth.
So even if my rocket was slightly more expensive and the fuel is a little bit more expensive, I can run 10x at least what they're running in a day and really make the revenue that I need to out of that system.
And they want to do this by 2028.
So within 10 years, an economy price ticket or like a couple $1,000
yes.
per person to fly New York to Shanghai.
So at the moment, that's within about the next 3 or so years. Oh, and the people that they want to send to Mars will be cooked alive, just like the people on the Earth-to-Earth transport. Yep, Musk has invented an industrial answer to the medieval torture device of the brazen bull. Starship transport side effects will include being cooked alive. You know, back in the day, I debunked 3 of Musk's revolutionary ideas. The Hyperloop, the tunnels, and the site-to-site rocket transport. And even a decade or so ago, it was clear to me that the dumber the Musk idea, the more clearly preposterous it was, the more vociferously Musk fans would turn up in force to try to defend it. And I don't want to go all, yeah, but I was debunking Musk before it was cool on you. But yeah, I was calling bullshit on this fraudster when he was getting wall-to-wall hero worship by the mainstream media as some sort of real-life Tony Stark.
Tonight, with music blaring, a billionaire celebrates a big moment. Elon Musk says he's done it.
Finally, there's something that I think could solve the goddamn traffic problem. Yeah.
Using elevators to lower and lift vehicles, the Hawthorne test tunnel, stretching just over a mile, is finished.
How his vision for a mass transport system went from this...
I mean, would it be incredible if you could travel around LA, New York, DC, Chicago, Paris, London, anywhere at 150 miles an hour? That'd be phenomenal.
Almost like an autonomous underground multi-level car system.
Yeah. That costs $1.
That costs $1, yeah, exactly.
To this. Prepare yourself for the future of transportation from the genius mind of billionaire Elon Musk. Yeah, looking more post-apocalyptic wasteland than future of transportation.
Tonight, with music blaring, a billionaire celebrates a big moment. Elon Musk says he's done it.
Finally, there's something that I think could solve the goddamn traffic problem.
And it can be kind of fun looking at some of the comments on those 7-year-old videos. I can't find anything outside Thunderfoot that seriously criticizes Musk's ideas. All I see is hype articles and videos about 7 times Elon Musk blew our minds or something. Is Musk some kind of sacred cow? To which someone replies, yeah, if you criticize him, you're a hater or not smart enough to understand his vision. Ironically said by people who can't even spell science. Now, overwhelmingly, Musk fans have no interest in the actual facts. They don't need them. They just need to shoot the messenger, attack the person, and boom, the cult of Musk is safe for another day. Never an actual argument, just an ad hominem. You're just jealous that you didn't invent the tunnel like Elon Musk, then come up with the brilliant idea of having slow-moving cars drive through them.
And apparently, the Las Vegas Boring Company tunnel is a done deal now.
And it will shoot people from station to station at the Las Vegas Convention Center with speeds of up to 150 miles per hour.
Are you ready for the future? The future of car transportation. It involves cars driving slowly down open roads. There you go. That's it. That is the future. That is the loop. Cars driving across a car lot to go down a tunnel which goes barely across the road.
Would it be incredible if you could travel around LA, New York, DC, Chicago, Paris, London, anywhere at 150 miles an hour. That'd be phenomenal.
So you can see it's brutally efficient for... I've not seen a single passenger yet. Is this one of a passenger in? No. No passengers in that one. No passengers in that one. No passengers in that one. And no passengers in that one. Wow, it's an efficient system, you can't deny it.
It's like an autonomous underground multi-level car system.
Counting them in. There's 0 passengers in that one. 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 And 0 passengers in that one. Wow, the world's most efficient mass transport system. Thanks, Musk. He's solved transport.
Yeah. They cost $1.
That costs $1, yeah, exactly.
Or the other things that Musk fans say, like, well, where's your Hyperloop then? Now, I've kind of had closure on this one in that I've personally stood on the grave of SpaceX's Hyperloop outside SpaceX headquarters, the one that was designed by the SpaceX Special Projects team. Yeah, more specifically, I've stood on the car park that is now the grave of the 5th mode of transport.
These black lumps here, this is where the Hyperloop used to be. Well, that's one way of leveling it. And the whole thing is just bedded down on rubber. These things is where the concrete pillars used to be, and they've taken all the concrete pillars out under the cars, literally under the cars. It's all that's left of Elon Musk's amazing Hyperloop vision. SpaceX campus shuttle, entirely empty. Oh, I think we're done. We're done. We're done. That's the end of it. So, the end of the Hyperloop. Just like that. That was now just a solid string of cars.
Ha! Turning the 5th mode of transport into a car park. Now that's the sort of progress you would look for from someone who has just been put in charge of government efficiency. And all the Musk fans, of course, said at the time that, I didn't understand this was merely a prototype and that Hyperloop 2 would solve all of the problems.
So our good Elon announced that SpaceX would build an even longer test track, a 6.2 mile or 10 kilometer long test tube. But to make it more realistic, this time even with a curve. And the coolest thing, it will be ready for the next Hyperloop competition in 2020. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, looks like I was right about Hyperloop 2 being vaporware as well, but the SpaceX fans are really keen on Hyperloop 3, which will be between Washington and Ketamine and will be built in 2017. Or the Tunnels project, which I've now also been to watch in action, and counting the empty chauffeur-driven cars driving literally no passengers merely across the street. I've seen the elevators that were going to be so futuristic and now look like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. But flying Starship as a transport was always the dumbest of all of these ideas. I mean, let's start with the obvious stuff, that Starship produces about 10 times as much carbon dioxide per flight as a regular plane. And here is the chief minion of SpaceX saying that this is great because it'll only be slightly more expensive than a plane.
So even if my rocket was slightly more expensive and the fuel is a little bit more expensive, I can run 10x at least what they're running in a day and really make the revenue that I need to out of that system.
I mean, no, even if you get the economics to be just down to the fuel that you burn.
But I'm highly confident it would be less than $10 million all in over, if you say like fast forward like 2 or 3 years from now. I think it's highly likely to be everything included less than $10 million a flight.
So let's see. 10 million per flight, and
So the first ship, the first BFR, is going to have roughly 100 passengers.
100 or so passengers, so that's a cool $100,000 per passenger.
Yeah, I think it'd be between economy and business. But you do it in an hour. And let's talk a little bit about the business. Everyone thinks rockets are really expensive, and to a large degree they are.
And maybe a reminder that when Musk said it was going to be like 10 million in a couple of years' time, actually in a couple of years' time, this is how it shook down.
Marginal cost of launch, maybe 100 million. So every explosion, it's like,
how pissed are you?
Boom, that was $100 million.
Fuck. That's gambling.
So, yeah, the chip zone.
Oh, apart from it wasn't to transport 100 or so passengers, because the maximum cargo that the Starship can actually currently carry is a banana. But she can make it profitable by flying them 10 times per day.
So even if my rocket was slightly more expensive and the fuel is a little bit more expensive, I can run 10x at least what they're running in a day and really make the revenue that I need to out of that system.
So SpaceX's plan for getting to Mars is, first of all, we must destroy Earth. In that plane flight currently corresponds to about 3% of the carbon dioxide footprint of mankind. And SpaceX wants to single-handedly increase that by a factor of 100, burning 10 times as much fuel and flying them 10 times as often.
Half an hour to an hour, I can do dozens of these a day, right? And yet a long-haul aircraft can only make one of those flights a day.
So basically, SpaceX alone wants to be solely responsible for tripling the carbon dioxide production of mankind.
I mean, Gwen, come on, this is awesome, but it's crazy, right? Like, this is never going to actually happen.
Oh no, it's definitely going to happen. This is definitely going to happen. I'm personally invested in this one because I travel a lot and I do not love to travel.
Cool. So let's see what you're going to get in return for tripling the size of the carbon dioxide footprint of mankind.
And I would love to get to see my customers in Riyadh leave in the morning and be back in time to make dinner.
So we're going to test.
Or you could just reduce your carbon footprint by a factor of 100 or so by merely making a Zoom call. But Musk is there saying that, no, maybe there's a good economic basis for this. You know, if someone really, really wants a cooked banana to explode in an ocean on the other side of the planet in about 45 minutes and is willing to pay $100 million for it.
It actually starts thinking like maybe there is some market for really fast transport of stuff around the world, provided we can land somewhere where noise is not a super big deal. The rockets are very noisy. But we could transport cargo to anywhere on Earth in 45 minutes.
SpaceX could service this growth market. Yeah, in my previous video, I covered how currently the engines on the Starship aren't powerful enough to get a significant cargo to orbit. Hyperloop 2 and 3, Starship 2 and 3 will definitely solve all of these problems in a year or two. But the most horrific thing is the idea of putting humans inside of this. You see, Musk is very happy in saying that in order to make this thing as light as possible such that it might be able to carry out cargo, say for instance, heavier than a banana, that when it's coming in, the steel on the inside there has a very high melting point.
The thickness of the tile is actually, for a reusable system, is dependent on what back shell temperature, like how hot does the back of the tile that interfaces with the airframe get? And because the steel can take a much higher temperature, steel has a melting temperature around sort of 1500 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, in all likelihood, the reason why they never show you what it looks like inside the craft during re-entry is because it's probably glowing red hot. So to make it as efficient as possible, you want that to get as hot as possible on the inside without actually melting the steel.
And because the steel can take a much higher temperature, steel has a melting temperature around sort of 1500 degrees centigrade.
The practical upshot is the temperature inside the Starship on re-entry isn't going to be more like a merely boiling water type temperature or pizza oven type temperature, but hellscape furnace type temperature, glowing red hot. The Brazen Bull was a horrific torture device where people were locked inside a metal can and cooked alive. And Musk looked at that and said, yeah, but for this to be a Musk idea, we need to make it 1,000 times bigger and cook 1,000 times as many people in one go. And it's all going to be ready in the next 3 years.
When do you believe SpaceX will land the first human on Mars?
And just so we're clear, it's almost 2025 and they've not even made orbit yet, carrying nothing but a banana.
It's very similar time frame from the point to point. It's the same capability. It will be within this decade. Within a decade.
Look, for at least the last decade, there has been a parade of a gazillion morons worshipping Musk as techno-Ponzi rocket Jesus.
I agree with you, but if they can make it much quicker than air travel for long distances, right, that sounds amazing if they get to that point. Because then you can travel to Australia in the space of an hour.
Well, you saw the Hyperloop, Washington.
Yeah, just go up to the moon.
And how he's going to save the world because of his big brain. But to anyone who remotely follows the details, it's just not true. The Emperor has no clothes on.
It's really not that hard.
It still sounds pretty complicated, Elon.
It's like a tube with an air hockey table. It's really, I swear, it's not that hard.
Seems like the people crying debunked are assuming that all of the scientists and engineers at SpaceX and all these universities haven't taken a grade 11 physics course.
Yeah, I think that's Elon Musk, the world's richest man. All those SpaceX engineers, a company burning $500 million of cash, and 1,000 universities 0, some random guy on the internet 1. And he's rich for basically exactly the same reason. Musk didn't make any real money by making things and selling them for a profit. Nah, he gets a bag of string and tells people it's going to be worth more than the entire Earth in this time next year. And that now, because those shares sell for hundreds of dollars a piece and he's got loads of them, he's rich on paper. I mean, overwhelmingly, his wealth is in Tesla stock, a meme stock where the value of the company, the big red line there, has no correlation whatsoever to the number of cars the company sells, which is about 90% of what the company actually does. Fundamentally, he's holding a bag of string. And when you realize that the valuations of both Tesla and SpaceX are sheer wishful thinking, his liabilities probably outstrip the value of all of the bags of string he's created. And in my opinion, he could see the end of the tracks. He knew that he couldn't keep this up forever and that it was going to hit the fan big time, which rather comfortably explains his sudden change into politics. To worry about what? The efficiency of a budget? I mean, doesn't that just seem a smidge out of character? I mean, why would a guy who knows literally nothing about the government budget suddenly want to be put in charge of it? Or more likely, the only thing that could save him is the giant wallet of Uncle Sam. Now, I don't know how this ends, but I'm happy to have been the one who called out Musk from when he was universally being worshipped as a tech genius. And many thanks to those who have supported this channel on its journey. And as ever, thanks for watching and Merry Christmas.